Hey everybody, so today we're going to work on deleting, so basically the first step of CRUD, the delete part of it. So right now when you create new things, they show up, these cubes show up, but you don't see a list, so there's nothing to delete them from. So the first thing we're going to need to do is expose something from the service to the component that allows the user to, or allows the component to render a list so that the user can have a button to click and delete. So step one is to create a writable signal that is private, that is our mesh list signal. And it is basically just going to be a writable signal, and it is going to put out a number array. This is soon it will be an actual strongly typed thing that has numbers and all kinds of stuff in it, but for now we're going to do it this way. So signal, and I'm just going to say, I think I can do this. Let's see. Yeah, I did that. Okay. So now, and then I'm going to have we're going to kind of follow the pattern above, and I'm just going to say mesh list, and it is just a regular signal, and it also pumps out a number array, and it is just the computed version of our signal. Meshless signal. So that's all it is. It just pumps that out just straight away. Basically, it's just a way to keep it hidden. So now, or expose it without allowing changes. Over here, whenever I add a new mesh, I'm going to say this dot uh, mesh list signal set, and we're just going to set it to our meshes. Dot meshes, and it's going to be a mapped version, and we are going to say mesh. We're just going to have it send out a mesh.id. There we go. So now basically the mesh signal just publishes a list of mesh IDs that exist. Okay, so now over in the toolbox, let's go over to this thing. We can create a mesh list, and that is going to be a number array, which again, it's going to be real nice when we have our strongly typed mesh, light mesh objects. And over here in the effect, we're going to say that this dot mesh list is equal to this dot 3js service dot mesh list, and then you got to execute it, and you have to do it within the effect. Boom. All right, so now over in our template within our toolbox div, we can just say at for, and then I can say mesh of mesh list, and then semicolon track equals mesh. And then we can just say mesh. We're just going to have it interpolate mesh. It's fantastic. Okay. It's working. Doesn't look good. It's hideous. So we'll fix that. Its font's way too big. We don't need this flex anymore, and we don't need justified content. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's beautiful. All right, so now we're going to put this into a table because that is what we will eventually have from material. Angular material will have it render a material table for us, but so this is a good starting point. And for each mesh, we're going to create a row, which I think makes sense. And then I might as well make my TD. That's my column, first column, and another column. And then boom and boom. Okay, so this should look even better. Yep, I love it. All right, so now let's go ahead and spread these out a little bit. And what we want is a matte icon button. And since we're going to use icons, we're going to import the icon module. And then matte icon module. And since we see that view init isn't being used, this is a good time to get rid of that. Be a good Boy Scout and leave the camp better than you found it. Icon, boom. And now we want to, that was just a guess on where that is, but I like the naming conventions. They do everything pretty smart over there at the Angular Material world. Okay, so now we have our icons. Let's go back over here, and so now we want to bring in a button. We want it to be a matte icon button. And we want it, the color of it to be worn. It's a funny color name, but and then we want to create a matte icon, and this one's called delete. I just always remember that one. It's pretty easy to remember. Delete. Boom, boom. Okay, so we got some weird formatting issues here, and I think that's because this guy, we have a class for all of these guys. So let's just say class equals add mesh, and then we'll come in here and we'll change this to dot add mesh, and boom. Okay, that looks a lot better. Now let's go ahead and try to wire it up. So over here in the click event, we are going to say click, and that we are going to call a coming soon delete mesh, and we're going to send it the mesh. And then over here, we're going to create a delete mesh function. And that is going to have it take an ID, and that is going to be a number, and it's going to return nothing. So it's a void. And then we are going to take that, and we are going to call something coming soon called 3JS service call dot delete mesh, and that is going to take an ID. And now we're broken there. So now we're going to go over to 3JS service, and we're going to create our delete mesh. It's going to take an ID, which is a number. It's going to return nothing, nothing void. Hit save, and that should fix all the complaints. And so basically we want to go to this.scene, and we want to remove our mesh. But the problem is we need to get our mesh. So const mesh is equal to this.meshes.find, and we want to find the mesh that has the ID that we pass in. And we want to remove that mesh. Now the compiler is figuring out that we may not have a mesh, so we're going to say if the mesh exists. So as long as nobody does anything weird like nullify the mesh or something, I don't know. Sometimes you'll see some weird stuff. And boom, boom, delete. Okay, but it's still in here. So basically we just need to do this. And we need to say this dot meshes is equal to, oh man, ran out of time. Let me see how fast it's going to take me to, because we're so close. This dot meshes dot filter, and we want to basically do the exact opposite of this up here. All right, let's see. Boom. So anyways, I think that's close enough, about a minute over. But that is how you start the delete. Next time I will create an interface and then update everything to use the interface. So it won't be a very interesting video probably, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. Anyways, happy coding and thanks. Bye.